So we're going to start by watching the women's saber because, as I said, it's a much faster weapon than foil in most cases. There are times when foil can be fast, but in general, saber is the fastest weapon by far. Yesterday we had a pool of 11 in each of the 3 weapons, and there were only 5 strips, so 2 of them were the women's foil event, 2 of them were the women's épée event, and 1 of them was the women's saber event. And the women's saber event on 1 strip finished faster than the women's foil and the women's épée events on 2 strips. So in this strip you have Lucas Orts from Stanford. He was the #1 fencer in the region coming into this, and he's the #1 seed after yesterday. He's going to be fencing Lawrence Song from UCSD. Nestor Levin is from the U.S. Air Force. And Jake Thayer is from University of the Incarnate Word. So you're going to hear a lot of cheering for him today. Sarah Shen is from UCSD. She was the #1 seed yesterday. Charlotte He is from Stanford. She was the #4 seed after the pool round yesterday. Julia Hill is the 2nd seed from UCSD. And Erin Shea from Air Force will be her opponent. I think based on what we saw yesterday in the pool, D will be a more back and forth dynamic bout. So I think we're going to start by watching D. And we are off. So in Sabre, you're going to see a lot of back and forth actions. And whenever someone is moving down the strip like that, it's called an attack. And in Sabre, at the highest levels, usually attacks are about 60% successful in women's Sabre. So you're going to see quite a lot of those attacks hit each other. And so when you're on defense, the onus is on the defender in order to be able to get the touch, instead of an épée where being on defense is a definite advantage. And so on that touch, in this situation called the box, or the first zone, where the referee says ready fence, essentially the person who hits first gets the touch. It's not quite that simple, but for introductory purposes, we'll say that it is. And so the 2 people are trying to trick each other into going fast so that they can either block the attack or make it miss. There you see left is a little bit faster than right, and so it's left's touch. This will be a little bit hard to see for the untrained eye. So right misses, and now it's left's turn. If left hits, it's going to be her touch. And she does, so it is her touch. Defense is quite difficult in Sabre, and the 2 touches so far, Shen has not been able to stop the attack of He. That time, He's attack missed. That's what I was saying before. They want to make the other person go fast and try to hit something, so that they can make the person miss and take the attack themselves. And that time, Shen tries to step in with a parry and does not get it. Nice pull. And you see the first touch scored on defense by Charlotte He. Shen will need to do something a little bit different in the first zone in order to stop He's attacks there. Oh, nice touch. So the last couple times, Shen has tried to parry low line. And so this time, she tried the high line instead and was successful in getting the parry. But she's still falling short too easily, and she's not doing well on defense, so we'll see if she can pull something out here. She can. It's a nice counterattack with closeout. And she brings it back to 5-6 from a 6-3 deficit. Leads don't mean nearly as much in Sabre as they do in the other weapons, because you can't just camp on defense. I don't like that action that Shen keeps doing. She kind of moves back and then steps in and tries to take a parry. It's a very high-risk action, and she's only gotten it once of the 4 times she's attempted it. Oh, that was nice, because the last couple times she's tried to step in, she's taken a parry, and a nice balance to a parry is a counterattack, because the person needs to wait a little bit in order to go around the parry, and so in that waiting moment, Shen counterattacked. So here you see Shen didn't like the call the referee made, thought she hit first, but the referee thought that the two of them hit very similarly, so no touch. This time the referee sees that Charlotte He comes forward in an aggressive manner and tries to make the attack and stops, and so that gives Shen the right to take over. So we're going to take, during the 1 minute break, we're going to go over to the C strip in the back. Where I believe Julia Hill is up 8-7 on Erin Shea. Oh, nice touch. That was very nice. Shea made it look like she was about to attack until the very last second when she pulled Hill short. And that time, because Hill was expecting her to maybe go back again, Shea was a little bit faster and got the touch. And this time, maybe expecting that action to work again, she goes fast a second time, and Hill adjusts to that. So the two of them are already playing a really nice game with each other. So after falling short twice, you might expect Shea to try to make a long attack, and so you might expect Julia to make a short attack into that. We'll see. Shea does a short attack for a third time. I think Hill was expecting her to change, so she changed as well. Another short attack. Almost every action we've seen so far has been a short attack so far by Shea. Another short attack, and Hill is waiting for her. She should go back to what she was doing before, which was a very effective strategy of just dealing with the short attack. And that was, she just attempted to do a very swag move in fencing called a jump parry. But if the opponent sees it coming, it's very easy to avoid. And this time she tries another swag move called a sky hook, which misses and gives Shea the right of way, and she takes it and wins the bout. So we're going to go back to the D strip quickly, which is currently has Shen up 10-8. The referee sees that both fencers stopped at the same time and both fencers started at roughly the same time, and so nobody gets a touch, which can sometimes happen. If no one does anything significantly more correctly or incorrectly than the other person, then no touch is awarded. See, that time, Shen makes it look like she's going to stop so that hopefully he will start moving forward with a little bit of indecision, and then Shen actually lunged into that, which was a really smart action. She tries it again there, and he is ready for it and takes the long attack and gets it. I believe that Shen is 1 for 5 in defending from those long attacks by He. So in this bout, the strategy would probably be, if I were He, I would just try to keep making Shen miss and take the attack again. Play the high percentage game here. Again, both of them finish at around the same time, so the referee says no touch. Nice touch by Shen. I think she caught on to the fact that he was waiting for her to miss and took an extra step to avoid that action. This time Shen comes forward and stops, and he takes over the attack. Nice pull by Shen. And a little bit impatient defense by He. He had a lot of space going backwards that she could have used, but chose to end the action very, very early. In Sabre, because defense is so hard, you generally want to develop your defense a little more before going for a committed action like that, like you see Shen doing here. It still is not working, but she's trying different things on defense to make it work. I think to this point, she's been a little too passive, and if I were Shen, I would try being a little more active if I go on defense again. That was a very nice touch. She made it look like she was about to make a long attack, which made He finish short, which Shen made miss and hit her on the head afterwards. Oh, she finally makes an attack miss, I think possibly because He was a little bit nervous. And then He stepped in with another almost immediate defensive action, which did not work. And so now that that is over, we're going to go to strip B, which has a fencer from University of the Incarnate Word. His name is Jake Thayer, and he is fencing Nestor Levin from Air Force. Currently the score is 11-10 in the first period. This is a relatively high-scoring foil bout. There's 30 seconds left in that period. So, on this action, in order to score in foil, you have to compress a button on your foil. And so what happened there was Nestor Levin made a lunge and either missed or he hit and his weapon was not working correctly. But for whatever reason, he did not like the weapon that he was using and decided to switch. So he's currently choosing his weapon. He's coming back right now. And the referee has to test the weapon to make sure that it can support a certain amount of weight. Otherwise, it would be too easy to hit the other person, and it would make it an advantage for one person to score touches over the other one. So they use a weight. The foil has to support that certain weight once the light goes off. If it stays off, which it does, it means that the foil passes. So now they'll test each other to make sure that both foils are working. They are, because you see a red and a green light. And so now we get back on guard with 29 seconds left, and the score in the first period, and the score is 11-11. Nice parry repose by Nestor Levin, but the repose is off target, so it's a null touch. Both attack. And so just like in Sabre, there's no right of way here, so nobody gets a touch. That time, Levin missed. Thayer made an attack, which Levin parried, and Thayer made a very quick hit afterwards called remise, and was able to score that touch. This time, Nestor Levin doesn't agree with the call that was made, and so he's asking for clarification on it. But the referee sees that Thayer is starting first and that Levin is trying to make a hit faster after starting slower than him. So essentially he's trying to sell that it was his turn even though it wasn't. And so Levin is fixing his blade a little bit. This could be just a tactical maneuver to just get himself a little bit of time to think. Nice touch. So he comes forward with his arm almost fully extended, which makes Thayer try to parry him. He pulls back his arm and finishes underneath. Oh! So he makes a parry there and misses and hits an off target with the remise. So no touch there. Everything at this point is so tense because all of these touches matter so much. So he hits Jake's so he attacks and Thayer parries him, and then they both miss and are trying to hit each other over and over again, and Thayer just happened to hit that one first. Thayer goes for that swag move I was talking about before called a jump back flick. But it's off target. Now it's Levin's turn. He's moving forward. Thayer tries to score with a counterattack, but Levin is able to hit him anyway. I'm not sure what just... Oh, okay. So in foil, part of the mask is target, and his mask clip got knocked off during that last infighting exchange, so he couldn't find it. The referee saw that it was next to the table, and now he's clipping back on. He'll let the opponent test that part of the mask. He missed when he tested. There we go. And we're back, and the score is 14-13. Attack and preparation, and the score is now 14-14. In fencing, you do not win by 2 touches, so this is sudden death. So you may see the two of them be a little conservative, although honestly I doubt it because every action so far has been pretty aggressive from both of them. So this may end within the next couple seconds before the period ends, unless they decide to let the period go, talk to their coaches for 1 minute before deciding how they want to end the bout. You can hear one of Thayer's teammates or coaches telling him to stay focused during this time. Right now, on the other side of the strip, Levin's weapon was a little bit messed up from that last hit. These are metal weapons, and so when you make a strong hit, it can cause a weird bend in the blade. And in foil, it's so important to know exactly where your tip is. So the coach is trying to help him straighten the weapon since you're not allowed to leave the strip. And these floors are not very good for... They don't have much traction, so they're not very good for straightening weapons. So Levin hit first there and wanted that to be his touch, as did the whole Air Force squad. But the referee says that it was such a small difference in the timing of the 2 hits that it's still a simultaneous action and therefore nobody's touch. But it does not look like these two are going to want to take this to time. So now, oh, what happened? It looked like Thayer had the parry and he just gave up his right of way. I don't know why that happened. Maybe one of them was stuck or something. And so it looks like Thayer wants to give up this period, and Nestor Levin agrees, so they're going to go to a 1-minute break. There's not much time left in the other bout, but we are going to switch to the other bout. Maybe we'll get to see 1 or 2 touches on the A strip, where Lucas Orts is running away with this bout against Lawrence Song. Lucas Orts came in the clear favorite for this event. He was one of the top fencers in the country before the pandemic. Since the pandemic, hasn't been fencing too much in the national circuit. That was a very nice touch. He hits with a backwards counterattack to end the bout 15-6 against Lawrence Song. And so Orts will move on to the final. So the two of them talk to their coaches for about a minute. You see the UIW coach telling the UIW fencers to start yelling a bit. Oh my God, that's attack from the right, yep. 1 second into the bout. So Thayer tried to go for parry on that action, and Levin added an extra step to go around it. Nice touch. And some good sportsmanship and camaraderie between the two fencers who have a lot of respect for each other. One of the great things about our sport is that we can kill each other on the piste, but as soon as the bout is over, everyone goes back to being friends. A lot of these guys have known each other for a long time. They've trained together. They've done camps together. They've fenced each other many, many times. And the level of respect between all the athletes is incredibly high. So congratulations to Lucas Orts and Nestor Levin for winning the semifinals of the men's foil.